that baby is.
You just made it. I was polite that time. I told Damien to mute his phone. All right, so our on-time drawing, and Michael just made it. So we have all sorts of good stuff here. We have gold folder, white folder, mouse pad, one Lux magazine. Say ooh.
And when I went out here.
And various other shit. Oh, there I go. I'm cussing again. I gotta wash my mouth. All right. Or do I? Do I have permission to cuss once in a while?
Yes.
Sorry.
We all do.
I'm good with that. All right, so our number is, what is it? Are you 10?
Yeah.
Yes, she is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is this the first time you've won?
Yes. Yay. Good.
All right.
Congratulations. So I'm really happy about that.
I'm really happy about that too. All right.
Curious about that.
So, take pictures throughout the meeting today, and then check in on Facebook, Realty One Group Southwest, not the private group, but the public group. Make sure you tag me and tag others around. So our rev-ups, we have our trainings coming up, our rev-up training. So tomorrow, dang, that's tomorrow. Holding successful open houses. I will be teaching that, and it will be at the Summerlin office, 9 to 11 tomorrow. I teach the exact same thing I did to generate a lot of business when I moved up to Utah. Then next Wednesday, John is going to teach the residential listing agreement. Again, that's at Summerlin, 9 to 11. And then next Friday is finding motivated sellers and preparing to win the listing. So next Friday, it will not be in Summerlin. It will be right here in this office because they have a corporate meeting at the Summerlin office next Friday. So we're just moving that one here. So if you wanted to go to that one, what is it? Finding motivated sellers and preparing to win the listing. So that will be here and via Zoom. All right. Summit. Who's all going to Summit? Nice. Love it. Love it. Summit. It's our yearly convention. It's a big deal. And it's been right here in Las Vegas, and this is the last time it's going to be in Las Vegas. Next year they're moving it to the East Coast. We made, or Cuba, the owner of the company, I'm talking to them because they're brand new, although they're not brand new agents. So Cuba, the owner of the company, the founder of Realty One Group, he made the announcement a couple of weeks ago that it's going to be free for all of the Las Vegas agents as a thank you for putting up with him all these years. So if you want to go, let me know, and I'll make sure that your names are on the list.
When is it?
When is it? 4th, 5th of February?
4th, 5th, and 6th.
4th, 5th, and 6th?
Yep.
So it's Sunday. It starts with a walk. Where is it? Does it say? A charity walk to support the Beverly Carter Foundation. And then the actual events are that Monday and Tuesday, all-day events. If you all know of somebody that's thinking about making a change, or just, you want to show them how great Realty One Group is, agents from other companies, we can get them in as well. So also for the same low price, free. My favorite 4-letter F word.
It was just one, right? You can only bring one agent, like from another firm. If you like them.
I need to get their information to be able to put on
They have to be
this.
licensed already, or?
They don't already have to be licensed, but if they're going to school, we can get them in. Yeah.
So Robin will come.
The one you met me at.
Because eventually she'll
Get me their information, name, email address, and phone number, and I can add them to the list. So you're all already added on the list, and I'll check with both of you. I'm sure you are Monty Cruz. Eva, I'm not sure since you just lived, but I'll just put you on the list. So if you want to go. So what else? What else?
There's a flask in her bag.
There's a flask.
How did you know that I need this for the summer? It's gonna
All right. So what are you gonna put in it?
It just duh. I'm gonna put some bourbon.
All right, so summit, and we're going to do a group photo. Don't know where or when yet. I'm thinking it's going to be on the second day, a Tuesday.
I should have a location by the 3rd.
Okay. All right. So, and you're going. All right, which day are you going to be there?
I'm gonna be there all the days.
Good.
Yay.
Right with you.
What was that?
He said he's writing with me. Well, I have to be there Saturday to set up, so.
And so for the walk, we're all meeting ahead of time somewhere? Does the walk start from a certain?
Yeah. So check the app. So everybody download the app. It's called Hova.
I don't think it's said it yet.
Yeah, it does.
It's all in there.
Yeah.
WHOVA. It's an app. It's in Apple and Google. So download that, and it has everything in there already. Any questions on the summit? Who's been there before? Got a testimonial? Awesome.
Not to miss.
Man, a few words over there. We'll talk to Charlotte.
Charlotte will give you
I
the
said, is the Pope Catholic? Of course I know if you were.
Oh, awesome.
Let me condense it.
Let's go.
I went
Can we
first
keep
time-
it down to 20 words?
Yeah, I went last year, and actually, you must go, if even only to listen to the speakers. They had the Moneyball woman, the actress,
Yeah.
who was the Olympic skier turned actress. Super inspirational. They had Shaq. He was hilarious, super funny. Who was the other person? Really amazing.
They had
So anyway, you
Finally,
should go, even if you have clients, even if you have showings, listing, contracts, whatever, prioritize at least the time where the speakers are, but I would encourage you to go for more than that, and you will learn so much.
And usually,
And have so
the
much fun.
second
Super fun.
day speakers are better than the
All three of the
first.
speakers.
Wait, we know who the speakers are?
We don't know who the speakers are yet. There's been
Everyone
some
was, yeah, Peyton
hints.
Manning.
Aaron
That was-
Andrews
that's a
is
guess,
one.
but
We're all
they-
pretty sure Peyton Manning will be, because one of the clues was, what was it?
That's what I
Omaha.
did. Peyton Manning.
Omaha, which is what he says when he's calling an audible at
Hey Mark, I
the.
think the schedule is on the Hoover app already.
With the speaker names?
Not the speaker
Yeah.
names, but aren't the breakouts on it
Yeah.
already?
Yes.
Wow.
So go on the app. Did I cover everything on Summit?
Yes.
All right. The food truck, every Thursday, there's a food truck way out in the parking lot. Today it is Pit Bull Barbecue. I have no idea. I've never tried them yet, I don't think. But it's, everything, Thursday starts at 11 and runs till 1:30. So Pit Bull Barbecue. All right, let's talk stats. What's going on in our marketplace? It's been a little while since we've gone over the stats. And Monte Cruz, just so you know, we provide this to you via your emails. It's going to be in your newsletter, so you can just steal it and put it on your social media. But so our active listings right now are 5,071, still really low. Of those, 3,700 of them are single family. Price decreases within the past 7 days, 472. More importantly is the under contracts is 2,600. That's gone up again. So homes are starting to sell again. Who's been writing offers? At multiple offers? Going against multiple offers? Who's got listings? Are you getting multiple offers on your listings? So, yes, no?
I don't have a listing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure renting a listing. and
What?
that means a rental.
Well, go get some listings then, all right? So, and month's inventory is 3.3, still very much a seller's market. Once we start getting about 4 or 5, that gets into a buyer's market. I don't anticipate that happening. I anticipate the market to continue to get hot as interest rates continue to come down. I think it's 10 of the last 11 or 10 of the past 12 weeks, interest rates have gone down. Only 1 or 2 weeks have they ticked back up. So, which is just great for our market, but it's gonna be one of those things, careful what you ask for. So once the interest rates take a bigger dive, which I believe they will, watch this come down and watch the number under contract and watch. You're going to get a lot more multiple offer situations, a lot more guaranteed. So it's time to talk to your buyers, push them off that ledge to get them into contract now. Otherwise, they may have waited too long. Any questions on the stats? All right. Anything?
Yeah, I have lots today, actually.
Oh, okay.
Really fast, though. Won't take up too much time. Hi, everyone. So I passed out this flyer for a solar CE class that we're having. It's going to be February 8th, and Audra Stevens is going to be teaching it. It's going to be all about solar. We only have 5 spots left. But if a lot of people are interested, we will do another one the following month as well.
When is it?
February 8th.
Okay, they only have 4 slots left. I'm taking.
Oh, okay, perfect.
February 9th.
Oh, February 9th, sorry. February 9th. And then we also have another CE class with Epic Lending that's going to be on FHA MBA requirements. And,
Who's teaching that? Is Ricky teaching
yeah,
that?
he's going to be teaching.
So Ricky is a really, really good instructor. I went to a CE class of his a couple months ago. He's really good. So if you can go to that, go to it.
And then last one
When is
today.
the, sorry, when is the FHA?
The FHA one is going to be on the 20th of February. And I believe that's going to be at Green Valley.
Been at Green Valley.
Yeah, that's going to be at Green Valley. Great. And then today's Rock University class with Justin Taylor, that's going to be on
RPR.
RPR, yes, it's the nation's largest property database. So that's gonna be at 12 o'clock. We are gonna be showing it here if you guys wanna come hang out with us, but you can do it online as well.
Who's familiar with RPR?
I use it.
You use
I
it?
use it so bad.
Yeah, it's a really, really good tool. It's a way to generate business. It's just really cool. It does a lot.
I do, yeah, it gives you a really cool like
Yeah.
property profile or like, you know.
Outside of Las Vegas.
Yeah, you can look
It's,
at it
yeah,
anywhere.
yeah, no, it's the whole nation.
This is sold out now.
Oh, it's sold out now?
Yay.
For you, Mark. And then one last thing, just come see us at Summit. It's gonna be really fun. Our booth's super cool this year. We're just excited to see you all and hang out with you.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Jocelyn. All right, with that being said, we have Vicki Greco. Vicki has been with us 2 or 3 times in the past. Very, very informational, talking all about whether we should stay an independent contractor or LLC or S Corp, and a lot of great information that she can provide for us.
Ready?
Ready? You need a chair?
No, I'm good. Actually, can't you see a difference?
All right,
in
yeah,
physical
absolutely.
therapy?
Mhm.
About a year ago when I was here last, guys, I couldn't even stand up for 20 minutes. I had a surgery about 13 years ago, and the surgeon shattered my pelvis and told me I would never walk again. And I found some of the most amazing physical therapists in the country right here in Vegas. And I'm kind of like a miracle now. Because he knew I couldn't even stand up that long. So I'm actually going to be a keynote speaker on International Women's Day at the Italian American Club for a big group of women. And I'll be standing up for 20 whole minutes that day. Yes. Okay. I'll let them pass them. Now let me ask a few questions. Does anybody in here currently have an LLC? Okay.
Oh, thank you.
I don't wanna, stay on one topic too long, but for the people that do have an LLC, are you familiar with the Corporate Transparency Act that just got enacted starting January 1st?
Yeah.
Okay, so Corporate Transparency Act is something new that just came out by the federal government. It's actually enacted by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, which is a bureau of the US Treasury. And basically they're making it mandatory reporting called a Beneficial Owners Information Report. Anybody that has over 25%, I don't wanna talk a lot about it, but one thing that I do at my firm, and a little bit about me, is I'm Vicki Greco and I own Silent G Consulting. And what we do is we empower, educate, and elevate people on how to run businesses properly and how to be successful at that. We have a whole bunch of stuff. There's some flyers about my company over there. The flyers you guys have here is what we're doing. If anybody is worried about the FinCEN Act or the CTA, Corporate Transparency, just know if you had an LLC prior to January of 2024, you do have one whole year until December 31st to comply with that, with the BOIR report. You can do it online in 10 minutes yourself. My company is assisting it. And once a month now, we're offering free classes on Zoom to explain what it is, why you don't need to fear it, because basically they're gonna have financial penalties, civil penalties, and criminal penalties if you don't comply. But don't watch the people on Instagram trying to put fear in you and trying to get you to act and react right away. That's not what we teach or empower. We teach you to learn, educate yourself, and empower yourself about what this law really is. And we offer free classes on that. All you have to do is follow me on any of my socials. You got all my QR codes. You can send me a message with your email and we'll send you a link. We're running 1 or 2 every month until December. If you, however, start an LLC in this current year, let's say tomorrow, you have 90 days to comply with that law. And starting January 1st, 2025, you have 30 days to comply, and if you don't comply, they're fining you up to $10,000 criminally, up to 2 years in jail, and $500 a day civilly. So
And what does the action require of us?
they require you to file a BOIR, a Beneficial Owners Information Report.
You just wanna make sure you're not laundering stuff and you're irrelevant.
And sex trafficking and things like that. They call it the Corporate Transparency Act. I don't wanna, like I said, stay on that too much. But basically, Nevada doesn't report to the federal government. There's other states like New Mexico, Delaware. I don't just work in Nevada, guys, I work everywhere, that are completely anonymous.
So people set up LLCs
To
do
be
bad
anonymous.
things so that they can do bad things.
Well, there's 21 million LLCs in the country
Sure,
right
a lot
now.
of things.
And even if you have an LLC that is inactive, there are still certain rules that you have to comply with, and that's way out of the realm of this course. But we're an expert on the field, and we're marketing that there should be no fear of the federal government. And so if you're not doing anything wrong, go ahead and comply, and if you are, if you shut down your LLC, I don't know what's gonna happen, because they're still gonna come after those people even harder. That being said, the few of you that actually have LLCs, are you taxed as an S Corp?
You have to make a certain percentage to be an S Corp, I wouldn't, so I personally, for real estate, I'm not.
Okay, so what I'm talking about here on this form, if you guys wanna follow along with it, I'm not gonna talk too long or be here too long with you guys, but as a realtor, let's just talk about what we are, realtors. You can either be a sole proprietor, which means you have no protection against limited liability if somebody sues you for anything. You're just acting as your own individual. You can be a LLC, which is a limited liability company, and what she's talking about, she's passed through as a disregarded entity with the IRS because she's not taking the S Corp election to get a benefit of that tax break, and so she's taxed on her regular Schedule C.
Correct.
But she does have the benefit and the protection that whatever she may do in real estate, if her errors and omissions or her broker doesn't cover it, will still cover her. One of the smart things about that is most realtors don't really get sued, but if you do, let me ask you guys as realtors, what's the most important asset of your potential client?
Your future income.
Their credit, because if they don't have a credit, they're not gonna be your client unless they're a cash buyer. Okay, so your credit can be totally negatively affected even if somebody sues you and you win. So she's protecting her credit above everything else, and a few other things which you can look down in here. Now an LLC S Corp is, the S Corp is the tax status that comes from the federal government, and the LLC is the structure that's going to protect you legally in the state that you form it. So you'll hear people say, I'm not an LLC, I'm an S Corp. No, they're tax elected to be an S Corp. And what that basically means is, have you guys ever heard of a 501c3 nonprofit? They're a state of Nevada nonprofit, which I am. I have a nonprofit. I'm the founder of the Frankie Foundation. And we apply to the federal government for a 501c3 tax exemption status. That's the same thing you do with the S Corp. Now, if you're going to be a 1099 realtor, and your 1099 comes in over $40,000 to $60,000, so I talk about $100,000 as my litmus test. If you're gonna get a 1099 this year for $100,000, and you're a sole proprietor or an LLC that's disregarded, you have to pay double self-employment tax, which is 15.3%. 15.3% of $100,000 is $15,300. Okay. If you become an LLC S Corp and you make that same $100,000, you either literally or figuratively become an employee to your own company and can give yourself all kinds of benefits like health insurance, writing off part of your home even though you work at a broker's office, hundreds of benefits that you can get. And one of the benefits is you're not paying self-employment tax on the whole income of that $100,000. You're only gonna pay that self-employment tax on what you're putting yourself on salary for. The rest of that income is gonna pass through, and you're gonna pay it at a much lower rate of 3 to 5%. So therefore, that being said, I just saved you $10,000. Because that's the difference on a reasonable salary. The IRS will say a reasonable salary is $40,000 to $60,000. Now, I'm not a CPA and I'm not a financial advisor, but if you have another form of income and you're still making $100,000 on your 1099, you don't even have to show 40, because if you're getting $40,000 income, or you have a husband or a wife that's making more money, you can show even less and you can save even less on that. So whatever she said was true. She's talked to probably your CPA about this, right?
I have an attorney and I have a CPA.
Exactly. And so even if you are not going to take advantage of the S Corp tax status, you should take advantage of the LLC. That also being said, there's just a lot of benefits, and we offer free classes like this. I don't like to go like over the top with too much information. Does anybody have any questions?
I just was told, and what I did, and I'll come see you because I have lots of questions, which nobody wants to hear.
I see your vibes speak louder than words, but you must have a lot of words like me too.
This was a reminder to myself today not to talk as much.
I don't know.
Well, you have butterfly earrings on and I have dragonfly earrings on, so I think we must be kindred souls.
So, but I have an S Corp for me as an agent, and then I have an LLC for my rental.
Oh.
So that if anyone fell in my rental or sued me, they can't come.
And that is a disregarded entity, because you don't want to negatively affect, when you sell it, the tax benefits and credits, so you want it on your own Schedule C. So we do that also. We also add a value add, and that's what she just reminded me of. So when your clients are buying homes for rental properties, they should automatically be in an LLC for asset protection, guys, because that liability, if somebody slips and falls in that house, the house that you now are living in, assuming you own the house you're living in, and the rental property, both become up for grabs. So does your car, so does any of your assets.
Right.
And I don't care who tells you anything about series LLCs, don't do it. I won't do them. Series LLCs are LLCs that allow you to keep a series of properties in something. They're very bad, and they're not proven, and the restrictions and the formalities of the corporate structure that they require are not worth it. And so what we tell people as our advice is, if you're lucky enough to have 3 or 4 rental properties, be smart enough to spend the money to protect them.
Each in their L.
each in their own
That
LLC.
was my question.
Now, what we teach is this, once you have more than 3, and the risk of losing one doesn't affect your bottom line, then you can put 2 or 3 into one. So if you have 9, you can put 3, 3, and 3. So if you lose one and all 3 go because there was a terrible catastrophe and the insurance didn't cover it, you still have 6. It's not going to affect your status of living that you're in, and the chances of something happening are very, very small. However, you're looking at someone whose half of her family was killed in a car accident when she was 16, who had a surgery and a surgeon shattered my pelvis and I couldn't stand up or walk until, so like when it comes to tragedies, I just know that they happen, and to me it's over and over and over. But for you guys, you're not supposed to be scared because fear breeds the dark. But when you actually do something to protect yourself from an educational and empowered way, then you can now elevate your business and you can elevate your clients.
I have a question. I have a question.
I'm rebranding the business name to Silent G5, and it's God, goals, growth, grind,
That's awesome.
and grateful, gratitude. So yeah.
So for yours, you just educate, you don't like do like a different entity, like say if you went into an S Corp, do you do like the recording of the minutes and things like
We
that?
do all of
with
that, yeah.
clients? And
My
you kinda-
company does everything. By the way, something about me is I was a licensed attorney in town for 20 years. And I had a little issue and I'm not licensed anymore. I'll be getting my license back in about 1.5 years. And I took the knowledge that I had as a lawyer, rebranded it into what I call a compliance or business advisor specialist. And even though I'm getting my license back, I don't think I'm gonna go back into practicing law because I like helping people before they get into the disaster.
So recommendation,
Yes.
there's nothing silent about you or what you do or what you share. So I say you are a triple G or you are a G quadruple.
So I'm rebranding it to Silent G5. And 5 is the number of freedom. And if you hear me ever talking on like my empowerment stuff or my transformational stuff, freedom is the key to success. Freedom of worry, freedom of fear, freedom of not having enough knowledge.
So your 5 Gs for what?
I am 5 Gs.
What is the five?
God, grind, gratitude. God, grind, oh, now I'm forgetting it now. God, grind, put me on the spot. Goals, yep. And then the other one I'll tell you in a minute because I'm not thinking about it right now. I just decided to rebrand it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about Nikki, who's not here. She couldn't be here today. This is the one that you guys have for estate planning. One of the things that we also teach realtors is that you're leaving a lot of money on the table by not reaching out to your former clients and checking in on them, because nobody ever wants to pick up the phone and call because you feel like you're asking for something. So we teach managed expectations at our firm, which is the ME program. It's not about me, it's about managed expectations. So Nikki is a life and estate planning specialist. She works as a licensed bonded document preparer. And anybody that's buying a home from you should be putting their home into a trust immediately. And so Nikki offers free consultations. And also when your clients ask you how to hold title, you're not supposed to answer them. That would be giving legal advice without a license, and that would be a crime. But Nikki can. So now you have Nikki's information and you can contact Nikki and she can give them a free consultation on how they should be holding their title, why they need a trust. And now they're going to remember you forever because you just went above and beyond. And all the people you sold houses to 5 or 10 years ago, now you can call them up and say, I was just in a class the other day. How are you doing with your house? Did you ever get it in a trust? Do you have children? How many people in here have children under the age of 18? How many people have a kids protection plan on them?
Like if they get hurt, like a life insurance, you mean?
No.
A protection plan.
What I mean is this, and I don't put fear in people, okay? But if something were to happen to you and or your spouse, if you don't have a spouse and your spouse is in another state, if something happens to anybody that is in full custody of the children, even if it's just a car accident and you're in the hospital, what happens to your kids? They go into DCFS unless you have a kids protection plan, giving somebody on ground zero limited power of attorney to take them out of the exigent situation until your wishes can be met.
Shouldn't that be in the trust though, already?
That would be in the trust. If you
Yeah.
had a good lawyer, it would be called a kids protection plan, part of the trust, and you would know it because you would have cards and it would be registered with the Secretary of State. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. If you have a good lawyer, you have somebody doing all that. Lawyers probably charge $7,000 to $10,000 for that kind of stuff. Nikki starts at about $2,500. If you come to us to set up your LLC, we're at right about $700 or $800 for everything you need plus the filing fees. Whereas lawyers, I think, are starting at $2,500.
Is that protection plan within a trust or?
She includes that, yeah.
If you already have, so if you didn't have a trust.
If you don't have, so some people don't have enough assets to have a trust. They have nothing, but they still have kids.
Right.
So then you can just get a kids protection plan for like $500, you know.
that way they're already taken care of.
Because they won't like I was taking care of a 6-year-old whose parents died and the grandfather took custody. He gave me limited power of attorney until the people could get here if something happened to him, and something did happen to him. And they were literally going to take her because they cannot know who I am.
Right.
They don't know that I didn't just put the drugs in him that caused him to have a heart attack. So they're not gonna believe it, but because I had the limited power of attorney to take temporary custody of her, the little girl now, instead of losing another grandfather, got to at
So
least
you
see.
didn't have this, or you did?
I did.
And that's.
I had that for her protection, even though I'm not the legal guardian. I was just, all of his family was in another state. So,
So you're saying even if it was for 24 hours?
I only had her for 24 hours. It's called it's a temporary legal guardianship for children until the parents' wishes can come in and be there, because a lot of people may put their kids with their grandparents, right? In their trust or whatever, but the grandparents live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So if something happens today on ground zero, what happens to those kids until the grandparents get here?
Foster home or some kind of temporary housing until.
They will, unless you have a temporary guardian appointed.
So even a senior in high school who's driving, but he's 17, my son, that would happen. Because
It
he's
could, they
got-
may decide to leave him at home, that would just depend on how coherent he was and who the cop was that showed up.
Got it.
Because, you know, all cops aren't the same, just like all lawyers aren't the same.
Got it.
Just gotta educate the kid.
Anybody have any other questions? If not, I think I'm good.
Oh, should you, I never did this, I was told many times to do this, and I just never did it. Homesteading your own house?
That's something you could ask Nikki, but yes, that's something she would say and I would recommend it. Also, on the people that are doing LLCs or that have LLCs, there's one caveat from the real estate division. Your LLC must be in the name as it is on your real estate license. So if my name is Vicki Greco, it has to be Vicki Greco LLC, and then you have to comply with the real estate division and go fill some forms out so that you can give your broker the right documents so that your checks can be made out to the LLC. And that takes, I think it's like $20. They might have
It
raised
is
it this year.
$20.
It's
You
$20.
physically have to take your license down to the division, and then they mail us another license with your LLC on there.
Yeah, it was easy.
And then just really quick, I do have a foundation, a nonprofit called the Frankie Foundation. Frankie was my brother. Him and my mother were killed in a car accident when I was 16. I wound up in foster care after that. And so now we teach people at the foundation that death can be happy if it's handled the right way, and you take somebody out of what are called the stages of grief and get them into the gates of grief. So if you do know anybody that passes away or has a parent pass away or children or siblings, you can always refer them to us and we will get them some help.
That's awesome. That's probably why you're so passionate about things. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, if you ever actually hear my story, the whole thing, you'll understand why I'm really passionate about things, because I do believe everything happens for a reason, and the things that happen bad, you have to turn them around for good.
You said the what to the gates?
The 5 gates. So once again, 5G. Everything is 5G with me. So the 5 gates of grief are different than the 5 stages of grief. The first, I'm not gonna talk about this, but the first gate of grief is everything you love will die. The 5th gate of grief is where I live, where I have compassion for the things that are happening in the world to people, and I'm here to help change that.
That's awesome, thank you.
So any questions regarding
LLC?
or S corps or
I think if you're a high producing agent, you should definitely look into being an S corp.
Absolutely.
I just started last year, so that's why I said I'm on S corp. But this year I do plan to go into S corp.
And I will tell you, you can also make that LLC an S corp almost at any time. The open enrollment, so to speak, every year for the S Corp filing, it's a 2553 form, is March 15th. So if she didn't become an S Corp last year, she has up until March 15th to have somebody file a 2553 for her to actually get the S Corp status for this year.
So for my personal corporation, my, I guess, financial advisor, or advisor, I guess I'm not even sure what he's at, financial planner guy, retired, and so he said, come pick up your book, so I picked up my book that says Charlotte Carrier PC.
Right, which
So
means
now I
he's
have to
probably now
file
not gonna be an
someone
RA
He's
anymore.
retiring, so
So
I
you
need
can
someone
call
else.
us and we can become your registered agent. We're a registered agent for over 400 businesses in town. That's what when people come to us for strategic planning, we teach them how to have passive income and aggressive income. And passive income is what our RA business is.
Okay, so I just have to bring it to you, so I can't just have.
You don't even have to bring it to me. You can just give me a call.
Okay,
We can do a Zoom. I can go on the Secretary of State, do a statement of change. You can pay me, or we can meet. I have an office right up the street. But everything
I can't
is,
just sit in my office at home and not have an RA.
no, and he shouldn't he should not remove himself
Until I have an.
until I will remove him.
Oh, okay,
But if he removes himself and you don't have one, then you'll be in default with the Secretary of State.
so hopefully.
He won't do that.
So at what income level is it beneficial, I've heard different numbers over the years, for somebody to get an LLC?
An LLC or an LLC S Corp.
S Corp.
S Corp.
Yeah.
If you're making $40,000 on a 1099 and you have no other form of income other than your 1099, you're gonna wash it. It's gonna cost you a little bit more to set it up. It's gonna cost you a little bit more to file your taxes. If you're making $50,000 or more, you're gonna benefit. It might be $800, or what I just gave you in the example of $100,000, it's gonna be $10,000. But definitely you want the protection of your personal credit anyway, regardless. And so if your personal credit means anything to you, and guys, I don't put fear, I don't do that, but if you're running a business as a sole proprietor, ask yourself why you're not making any money.
So that's the exact number I've heard over the
Right.
years is $40,000.
Yeah.
Because if you're running a business and you aren't setting it up and thinking like a business owner, how can you be successful? Now, I'm not saying you won't be, but I'm saying when you actually take the steps to think like a business owner, a businessman or a woman, it forces you to strategically plan your business. Instead of just waking up and saying, I'm a realtor with the 17,000 of them out in town, right?
And bottom line, you might as well put more money in your pocket than the
Yeah,
government's.
exactly.
Yeah, and leverage it and use it to your advantage, like for your cars, for
Whatever
somebody
you
running your
want.
books, you can write all that stuff up.
Yeah, and so you guys have my phone numbers, you have our contacts, you have Nikki's direct line if you have any questions for trusts. She offers free consultations, and I hope we helped educate you, and don't forget about the Corporate Transparency Act if you do have one. Or 2, or 3, or 4. And just come in on one of my Zooms, they'll take about 20 minutes, and you'll know everything about this by the time I get done with you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Thank you.
So sit up the whole time now. I'm a little bubbly, and I'll stay over here in case anybody have questions.
All right, so, I guess we're gonna get it done early today. Unless you guys have any questions at all for me, regarding the market, regarding, Summit, regarding,
I have a
any,
question.
Yeah.
So I had
Shocker.
a client yesterday who said they just talked to their financial planner, and he said, this is a future buyer, but who's gonna buy later this year, but he said his financial planner is a really wise 7-year-old gentleman who, said that his planner was saying that they think the interest rates believe they'll be coming down again to 4.5%.
So she said, a financial planner told her client that they believe the interest rates will get down into as low as the 4s. You know, everybody has a crystal ball, and some of them are right, some of them are wrong. I've heard that government loans, FHAs and PAs, you can get in the 5s now.
Yeah, my client actually just got,
6.2.
my client just got approved for credit score 711, FHA 5.3%, no points.
No, that's really good.
Did they get any Slurpees off of that?
Maybe.
No, so yeah, that's great, and expected to come down even more.
Hey, Mark, one more thing I forgot. Do you, the ones that are not LLCs, do you require them to get their state business license?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's another compliance if you don't, but Mark requires you guys to have that, just so you.
I don't, the state does.
Just so you
Yep.
know, that $200 you're spending, an LLC is $425. So for $225 more, you can have the LLC, because this is part of the package when you get that LLC.
Yep. So you don't have to get the state business license if you get an LLC. Like
It
she
comes
says,
with it.
that's a $200 advantage right there.
Exactly.
So it pays for half of it, right
Exactly,
there. So,
especially since you guys are getting them anyway.
yeah, required,
What's that one?
yep.
For $200 more.
Any other questions,
Yeah,
comments?
when is happy hour coming back?
When is happy hour coming
Loves that.
back?
Glasses
So,
up the
it's funny because, Stephanie and I were just talking about that the other day. And, so, we don't have an exact date yet, but we're thinking it's gonna happen the 1st of March.
Yeah.
Not
And,
the first of March, the end of March. Oh, my God.
yeah. And what we're gonna do is,
What are you gonna do?
I'll bring the pizza oven back.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll make, homemade pizzas again.
Everybody started following our trend with the happy hour. You were like, hey, you know, this office.
Everybody what?
Started following the trend, like Green Valley was thinking about doing it,
You know
and
what?
they were doing it.
They all copy us.
You know?
You know?
Wait, what do we have?
Huh?
Give us the whole conversation.
Were you too busy having a conversation over here? You weren't listening?
She was wondering if we didn't have to pay taxes, the business license
Yeah,
ever,
because
if we have an
I
LLC. I said, no, you still have to pay that every
Yeah.
year. So
Yeah.
what did I miss about happy hour?
We're talking about happy hour. We want to bring happy hour back.
We have a happy hour?
Okay.
It's not scheduled yet.
So, my business license just expired, and so.
Your state?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so instead of, doing that one, I just do the LLC instead.
Yeah,
And then,
so if you were gonna go renew
yeah,
that expired license, you would pay $200.
yeah,
And then now they charge 2.5% in processing fees, but it's $425 for the LLC, and the LLC comes with the state business license, so basically it's $225 more for the LLC.
okay, and we can do that with you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, I charge to do that stuff
Yeah.
too, which is different, so you're gonna pay a little bit of an extra cost, but I give you guys a discount. And I have packages, but yes, you can definitely do that with us.
And what's the cost for the, S Corp?
So if you got like the top package that I have, my package comes with LLC, state business license, getting you the EIN, which is your employer identification number, us acting as your registered agent for 1 whole year, and getting you the S Corp tax status, and giving you a single member operating agreement. That whole package right now is $690 for everything, but we give you guys $100 off, so $590 plus the filing fee. It's a no-brainer.
That's with your fees too, or no?
$590 plus the $425.
Okay, plus the
Yeah.
425.
Well worth it, because you know, don't think short term, you gotta think long term here. What's going on with your
When you-
taxes and,
When you go on to and I'm making this intentionally legal doom, not Zoom, they will actually charge you more than me if you do it for the package, because once you get in, they click you and say, now you need this, now you need this, now you need this. I'll file the LLC for you for $150, but you don't get anything else, and then you need all that other stuff. And Legal Doom won't do the 2553 because it's a very complicated form for the S Corp. And all they'll do is give you a link to the IRS to find the form. They won't even do that for you.
Call Vicki. Call Vicki.
oh, Vicki, that's right.
So we're starting a network called, it's gonna be called, have you guys ever heard of Gary Vee?
Yeah.
So we're starting a network called Ask Vicki G.
Got Gary Vee and Vicki G.
Yes, we are.
Any other, questions?
How long does the process usually take to do, like, for example, the 590 to do everything?
So if you were to come into my office, we'd be there together maybe an hour and a half, you'd be with everything you need, as long as there's not a complication getting your EIN from the IRS. If somebody else has your exact name and is using it somewhere else, I might have to file an SS4 and go long, but if there's no complications, 90% of the time there aren't any, same day.
Okay, sweet, thank you.
Then you'll get your S Corp determination letter within 3 to 6 months, but it'll be backdated to the date of formation.
Okay.
Question.
If you already have your LLC and you wanna turn it into an S Corp, it has to be done before March 15th, or you can do that at any time?
So, from a compliance standpoint, the IRS says, we guarantee you will get S Corp tax status if you file it by March 15th in any year you want it. If you miss the deadline, you need to send us a reasonable explanation form why you missed the deadline, and we'll make that decision. I won't do those for people, because if it's not something I can guarantee, I don't wanna do it. So that's the long and short of it.
Okay. I filed it like that for another business that I have, and it was fine. I mean, you just had to like, my CPA or my tax advisor did it for us.
Yes, a lot of
And
the
they
times
return it,
CPAs, if you didn't get it, let's say you didn't get it for last year, and your CPA sees, oh my gosh, you're gonna spend like $25,000 more. He can write a reasonable explanation with your taxes and possibly get it for you. But I don't do those, because I don't do taxes.
Okay.
So,
Do you have someone you refer?
I do. He's amazing, and he's really, really good with realtors.
Mhm.
Yes, I do. And so one of the things that we also teach is how to leverage your network to make it bigger, creating your net worth. And so once you're in our network and we work with you, and that means I work with you because I work with him, you can email me, you can ask me who we refer. We do SEO, guys, we do SEO, we do marketing, we do digital marketing. Somebody that was sitting in here who's not here anymore, his daughter is my social media manager. And she's amazing, so we have all people for all of those things, because we're a consulting advising firm. Yeah, she is amazing. She's filming something for me this afternoon. Did you have another question?
Just, if you change the LLC to the S Corp by the deadline, does that mean that previous year taxes are gonna be filed as S Corp, or
No,
that like?
it's this year going
year?
forward,
Okay.
yes. And so if you have an issue with last year LLC and you made over, contact your CPA now and see if they can get you that status back. Some say yes, some say no. If you find one that says no, get a different one.
Agreed.
And you have one to refer.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, well, with that,
Is there a meeting next week?
is there a meeting next week?
We'll find out.
Yes.
Oh, wait, wait, hold on.
What is next week?
The first.
It's the summit.
Next week, what is next week?
next week is a summit.
Nobody will be here.
Next Thursday is the
Oh, no, it's the first.
Yeah, it's frontline training
Oh,
with
good.
Gail Anderson.
So
They don't
yeah,
have one
there
the
is a
following
meeting next week,
Post licensing
all about safety.
I have questions.
Yes.
and summit.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
All right,
Thank you.
remember, say it, go ahead, say it. No matter how you slice it, greatness is a choice. Let's go out there and be great.